What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at my IS300. So I've got a little bit of a weird lock issue and I had to order, instead of ordering like just a key and reprogramming it, I decided to get an ECU and a whole key set to match. So I've got a door lock, an ignition, glove compartment, and my trunk will all match on one key. So I replaced the door lock yesterday and it was pretty easy. I mean, it's tedious to get in there and get everything off, but it worked. And now I can unlock my car with that key, but it doesn't match my ignition. And I don't know, man, guys, I had like the weirdest key situation. So this is my old master key that's taped up. I know it looks terrible, but it broke and the fob never even worked anyway, and I never could get it programmed. I think what happened was this ignition was swapped out at some point and none of the other locks were, and it was just cut. This key was just cut for this ignition. But basically I bought this kit and I'll show you here, right here. So this is, I got this on eBay for $170, and you might think that's a lot, but to get a key and get it cut and programmed, like you can program it yourself, but to get a key with the electronics in it, I think is like 60 bucks or something, and then you got to get it cut to your car. I got an ECU key cover with the LED in it, trunk lock, obviously my door lock came in, and that was just the cylinder. And that actually is what sparked me changing this, was because my door cylinder broke and I knew that it was different than my ignition. So I was like, well, I'll just buy a whole new set. And luckily I found an automatic 01 key set, because I don't think 01 works with 2002 through 2005. I think they're a little bit different. This is the immobilizer. It came with a glove compartment lock, theft warning. I'm not sure what that is. I'll have to look that up in a sec. And then this is a interlock key something. I can't remember. It's a solenoid. And then there's just some brackets here, and then we've got our ignition. So when we put it back in, it should be pretty easy. I think you just have to take the panels off to be able to reach this little button here, and then it'll you can slide your ignition out, according to the other videos I've seen on YouTube. So yeah, got the door done. Gonna do the ignition next. I think I've got to take out the gauge cluster. It's like 2 screws there. I think there's a screw maybe down there and down there. And I think it comes out pretty easy. Like, I'm not too worried about it. And I think you guys can probably do it. And that's what I want to encourage, is like, we need to be working on our own cars, you know? Like, if we can do it, if we have the tools, might as well try it. All right, guys. So once you get the ignition pulled out, we're going to have to put the key in to ACC, and we'll hit that little knob right there. But we're just going to push down on that, and hopefully we can get this out. There we go. So I just keep the key in there because it'll lock in, then you can use the key to pull it out. So there's our old ignition. Here's our new ignition. So again, we'll go to ACC and insert the new ignition. There we go. And it locked in. So now we have a new one. Then I'm just going to swap these out real quick, and we'll be ready to reinstall this. Which this came out. You just unplug all these 3 plugs, as well as the key ring light here, and then there's just 2 bolts holding it on. So it's pretty easy. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get this put back together. You guys like my little stand there? We got the ECU pulled out here. Well, not pulled out, but uncovered. And then we'll go ahead and, I'm gonna go ahead and unhook the battery, and then we'll just start unplugging this and put the new one in. So yeah, we're almost done. So here we go. All right, guys, so we've got the new ignition installed. I didn't bolt everything up yet because I want to make sure that it's gonna work. The last thing I gotta do too is put this theft module or whatever it's called up here by this kick panel. Goes in there. Finally got everything installed and it is working. I made the mistake. Well, so I plugged everything back in and didn't bolt it back up in there because I wanted to make sure it worked before I spent all that time with that. And the mistake I did is I left this, the immobilizer ring that goes right by the key. I had that hanging too far away, so it took me a second to realize why the security light was never going off. But when you install the new ECU, like if you order one of these on eBay or something for your car, make sure it's, you know, appropriate, like an automatic transmission or manual transmission ECU, and matches the year if it's an 01, I think. But anyway, I got this to match up, or to work, and basically the guy that sold it to me just said, turn your key off and on 10 times and to make it work. And when I did that, turn it off and on 10 times, it beeped twice, I think, when it was on the off position, and when I went back on, it beeped again, and then it was good to go. So that is done. I don't think the locks work yet. Yeah, they don't work yet, but I think now that at least it's communicating with the ECU, I'll be able to go through that little process where you unlock and lock the doors several times to get it to go into program mode. But man, I'm stoked. I finally have a key that matches my door and it matches my ignition. So I got everything reinstalled and here we go. And she's running perfect. Look at that. Nice. Sweet.